I'm Heather.
I'm Nate, and this is Lacey.
We're
going to Universal Studios Hollywood!
Dogs aren't allowed, so Lacey's gonna stay back with the neighbor.
We were staying at the Sheraton Universal, and it was close enough to the park that we could walk right over.
We were so excited for the first day. We got up early and we started our walk over.
They had an elevator on the other side of the Sheraton that took you up into the Hilton Gardens, and just on the other side of that was a bridge that took you over the top into Universal.
We skipped up the stairs and over the bridge and through the trees, and before you knew it, we were here.
Our excitement was overwhelming. This is our first time here, and we didn't get very far before we saw the iconic Universal Studios globe. We had to stop for pictures and video.
And after admiring the globe, we started to make our way in and we saw another iconic picture moment. Well, maybe there were a few picture moments. But after that, we went on in and we headed down to the lower lot. Our first stop was Super Nintendo World.
We made a video about our warping in and out of Super Nintendo World, and you can watch it next. But first we saw Optimus Prime and Bumblebee letting everybody know what they needed to do to stay safe, including watching out for the Raptor Blue.
Now, these animals, of course, will reserve their energy for any kind of moment they need to go on the hunt or protect themselves. However, we have noticed every now and again these dinosaurs do like to hunt for sport. And that is a sign of the heightened intelligence of a raptor. They enjoy the problem-solving skills that go into tracking down prey, hunting prey, and then feeding. Hopefully we don't see any of that kind of behavior today, because that's not why we're here, folks. We are here to document, observe, and analyze her non-aggressive responses. And believe it or not, these animals are capable of various emotions like pain and empathy. Another sign of intelligence, that text. Minute? Copy, thank you. Good girl, Blue. So just to be sure Blue stays on her next feeding schedule.
We let them feed the dinosaur while we headed up to the upper lot where we ran into the donkey from Shrek.
The burro? Burro? Is that what you call me? Queso. Burro waffle. Hey, do you know that Messi guy? You know him? You know Messi? Will you tell him he owes me $5? Yeah, tell him he owes me $5. I bet him that he can win the World Cup. Heather and Nate. Well, what can I do for Heather and Nate today? They'll do a little dance, make a little waffle, get down tonight, get down tonight, Oh, this guy, come on, get in here, Nate. We gotta get a picture with Nate. Cheers. Gotta get a picture with Nate, yeah.
Donkey does have great taste in friends, including Shrek and Fiona. And after meeting all of them, we thought maybe we could make the next Shrek movie. Maybe Universal Shrek or Fiona's Funland. We even created parts for ourselves.
We had fun wandering around. We found ourselves looking in stores and just checking out all the memorabilia they had. They even had Oscars. That was pretty cool.
The next thing you know, the director called action, and we found ourselves out there interacting with the characters, feeling like we were part of the movies.
First up was King Julian, and oh my gosh, he was hilarious. Such a crack up. He had me laughing.
Yeah, he was great, right up until the end there. What was that about?
We had heard that hanging out by the Stage 52 is where all the characters come out. And sure enough, next came Scooby. He asked me to walk him over to his photo spot. It was so cool.
He was a blast. He's so much fun, even when he's on his way to solve a mystery.
That was so much fun walking Scooby-Doo over. He was so nice. I told him how much I loved him, and I had been watching him since I was a young pup. I asked him where Shaggy and the gang was. He said he didn't know, and he asked if I would take care of him until they arrived. I was more than happy to. I escorted him over to his photo spot where he could start taking pictures with all his fans.
A few photos before taking the mystery machine out on a mission.
When we got there, the van was all set up and ready for photos. He let me take the first one. Wow, they really make you feel like a star here.
After helping Scooby avoid all the ghosts, we turned around to see we had just missed Poppy the Troll, but that was okay because we were right on time to meet Hello Kitty.
Well, if that doesn't make you feel like a kid, I don't know what will. Next up, we saw Frankenstein and his bride, and they were really fun. I told her I liked her hair, and Frankenstein was more concerned about his.
Yeah, we had no idea he was so vain, so his bride took him off to find him some new hair. And right after that, Lucille Ball came through talking about some mess she left back at the chocolate factory.
And after meeting Lucy, we ran right into the bank robber, who was doing something mischievous, of course.
We didn't dare ask him about that bag.
We found ourselves in a city-like apartment scene. It started to look a little familiar. We were headed to the secret life of pets. And Snowball was out.
What you say?
R.I.P. Ricky!
You see, the humankind just come up here, they just like to yell out trigger words. Just, why you gotta remind me of Ricky? For those who don't know, let me give you some context.
Sorry, man.
You see, once upon a time, my homie Ricky, who was living out in the sewers, and then Ricky was like, yo, Snowball, I'm going to the streets. And I was like, don't do it, Ricky! And he came up. Next thing you know, one of them strollers ran over Ricky. And I never saw him again. So every July 2nd or 3rd, maybe 4th, I go, R.I.P. Ricky! And then I pour a knot for the homie. But it's just water though, I'm just pouring out water. I don't want nobody to get the wrong impression. Yeah, I'm a non-alcoholic bunny rabbit.
That was so much fun. I was so excited he was out. The Secret Life of Pets is one of my favorite movies. Everybody knows I love a movie with a talking dog.
And a talking bunny. Now that we got our cute content in, we kept walking down the city streets until we got to the Despicable Me neighborhood. It had the Minions' homes, Gru's house, Miss Hattie's home for girls, and what looked like a really yummy Minions cafe.
There was so much to do and see here. It was hard to know where to start. You could take a studio tour where you hop on a tram and they would take you around to the stages for the movie and TV. Or you could hop on a scooter and pretend you're scootering around the streets of France.
We were lost in our own world as we wandered around on a romantic tour of Europe. The only thing that snapped us out of it was when we ran into Marilyn Monroe. We told her all about how much we loved her work, and she was nice enough to take a photo with us.
We feel close to her. She loves where we live.
We called cut because we needed a break, so we took the short walk back to the hotel and hung out at the pool while we got enough energy to head back to the park.
We headed back to the park right at sunset. We thought we might get some amazing views. We headed straight for the lower lot, where we knew we could get some great views of the sunset while we headed down the escalators.
You could see across the whole valley with the sun dancing across the hills in the background.
We ooh and awed over the sunset all the way down to the bottom, where we ran into the Transformers.
And like us, there is more to you than meets the eye. So friends, I ask all of you out there, will you join our fight? Yeah. Come on now, will you join our fight? Yeah. All right then. Now, before we may continue, we must bring out my second in command, and most importantly, he's my brother in arms. Get ready. Here comes Bumblebee. Everyone, give him a cheer! Well, Bumblebee, to see all these great recruits out here.
You asked me to kill him?
Yes, I say we start recruiting immediately.
I didn't know the Transformers recruited. Apparently I don't watch them enough. I'm too busy watching these gals.
Yeah, they're more dangerous than the Transformers or the dinosaurs of Jurassic World. At least on this ride, when the ground gets taken out from under you, you get a splash landing.
Oh yeah, it's not that fun on the Housewives.
As we passed by the Mummy ride, we heard some really scary noises, so we thought it was about time to hop on the long escalator ride so we could get out of the park and back to our hotel. We walked over the bridge and took the elevator down. It was time to get some rest so we could start again the next day.
We went to bed exhausted, but we woke the next day ready to celebrate the 4th of July. We stopped to say hello to the fish and the turtles along the way, and then we headed in to celebrate the 4th of July with Universal Studios.
That woke us up and got us pumped up to start shooting some scenes around the park. So we gathered around the camera and the boom mic and started letting the mist effect do its work to set the scene.
It was a hot day, so the misters helped cool us off. And because it was the 4th of July, there were a lot more people here. We made our way through the crowds. We were headed to the wizarding world of Harry Potter. We were going to spend the day there. We made a video about that. You can watch it next.
After that, we checked out the studio tour with its iconic 60th anniversary trams.
They were so cute, and they were everywhere.
As the crowds got thicker, we moved slower and we started hopping into each store to enjoy the air conditioning.
It also was fun just to see all the shops.
Finally, we arrived at the plaza with its famous tower that's been in so many movies. That got us powered up to want to go race with the Mario Kart team, so we started moving faster through the park.
Oh yeah, that was so cool to watch them come strutting through.
Woody Woodpecker cheered us on and gave us a high five for showing up today, but he told us we better get out of here quick because there was a bank robbery going on and we wouldn't want to get caught up in it.
That bank robber seemed to be having some problems with the door.
We grabbed some popcorn and headed into the plaza to meet a man who's the most famous man in the world in his own mind.
Oh yeah, Scuba George, he was fun.
The sign says right there. Scuba George.
I mean, I was very, you got it right. I was no shocked. I was like, wow.
I know.
Everybody knows Scuba George.
Everybody knows me here. They surprised me with her, but yes. Oh, she can talk my ear off all day long. But yes, I love her so much. She's an icon, a legend. But Johnny's big.
Sure enough, we stuck around that bank robbery a little too long, and next thing you know, law enforcement was coming around asking me a bunch of questions. They said something about my wristband being stolen, and next thing you know, I was being thrown in jail. Just when I needed it, Doc Brown showed up with the DeLorean and broke me out so I could go back to the future and live out my childhood fantasy of driving this car to any time and any place.
Oh, this was so cool. And we could have stared at this car all day long, but the 4th of July celebration at Universal just kept coming.
The city streets were getting hot, so we decided to head on over to the Minion Super Silly Funland. It's got a ton of games and fun stuff to do, but most importantly, it's got a big splash zone where there's misters and splashers and dousers everywhere.
Oh yeah, this was so awesome. I found myself walking through and I got doused with water, and it made going through the park so much better on a hot day. We were able to stop and talk to some locals.
Oh, why is that? It could be curtains too, like you can pop out of it like a curtain. Surprise! Oh, yeah. Yeah. What are you hiding behind that beard? Nothing. Just handsomeness, I bet. More handsomeness than already exists. Could be secrets. Jeez, could be secrets. But I don't know. Those secrets. Well, our hair. That's what we keep in our hair. A lot of secrets.
Oh, they were a hoot. I could have talked to them all day. But it was the 4th of July, and we wanted to get back to the hotel to have an early dinner so that we could get back to the park in time for sunset and the fireworks.
As we walked along the bridge from the hotel, we couldn't stop admiring the sunset along the way.
It was amazing, and what a view. The colors, they lit up the night sky, as if to prepare us for the fireworks we were about to see.
Once we got in, I practiced my acting skills. I mean, I might have been a little overdramatic, but I don't know why the director said I was a ham.
No, it was a performance fit for the 4th of July, and the streets and the buildings were lit up in red, white, and blue.
We were a little late to get into Hogsmeade to watch the fireworks show, so we found the best spot we could outside.
Just as we got there, they closed off the gates and said they weren't letting anyone else in, so we watched from outside.
Then on the escalator ride down, we saw fireworks shows all across the valley that were just as good as the one in the park.
Oh yeah, I couldn't believe this one. It was amazing, so we had to stop and watch. Shows we've ever seen, and it had nothing to do with Universal. But we had a great view from here. And when that was done, we could see millions of people celebrating the 4th of July. It was so cool. We just kept moving on down the escalators, checking out the view. until we got all the way to the bottom and we realized there was quite a bottleneck to get to the top. So we decided to hang out in Nintendo World for a while. We stayed there until the crowds were completely gone.
Thanks for going to Universal Studios Hollywood with us.